Welcome back once again. So let's try to install all the prerequisites in order to create our project. So first of all, we need to install Go. So this is the URL, which is I have shared this URL in description below also, or maybe you can simply just search Go in Google, right? This is the URL which is going to help you to download Go. Okay, so based on your operating system, you can download this specific package. So let's click on download, right? Here, this is the page where you will get all the releases. And based on your operating system, you can just download your suitable package, right? So I'm gonna use like one of them. So in my case, like ARM64, this one, right? You can download it, right? Once this is downloaded, like yeah, I have installed Go in my machine. That's why actually it is saying like this, right? Then you can just go to continue install. I can put my password. It's gonna take a while just to finish the installation. Yeah, this is done, right? So just move to bin, right? I don't want to keep the installation package right after this one. All right, so based on your machine, you can do the same, all right? And now let's go to, once again, to the whimsical. All right, then let's go to terminal, right? Yeah, I have some processor going on, so let's try to make a kind of new window, right? I'm gonna keep this one live. Okay. So let's try to go back. All right, so I'm in my home directory. Let's try to check like Go version, which is already, they are saying like how we can check it out, the Go version. Go to here, you can see like Go version. You can just put Go and version. Then you can get like, if your Go is installed correctly, then definitely you can get this stuff. Go version, right? So this is my Go version, all right? So based on your installation, maybe you can get some different version on the time of you are watching this video. Okay. Now we can install IDE, right? As a choice of the integrated development environment, we can go with any kind of IDE where you are finding comfortable. But apart from my understanding, I'm just often using like VS Code and the Golan, right? So VS Code, if you're not familiar with this, like definitely give it a try. And here we can, from this specific URL, right, code visualstudio.com, and here you can install your version based on like which operating system you are being used. Right? So in my case, I have already installed this one, but still you can just try to like this, right? Download, and it's gonna take a little bit time, depends on your internet speed and all. But once you have installed this one, you know, then definitely you need to add some kind of add-ons to your IDE. Let's try to do it together, right? So I'm gonna open this one, right? So I'm using Mac, so that's why it is showing like this, right? But I can just drag these things to application, right? Leave it here, replace. Yeah, it's replaced now. Now, if you go to Visual Studio Code, right? Yeah, Visual Studio Code. So our Visual Studio Code is installed. Now let's go to install a couple of plugins, right? Extensions. That is, click on this extension tab right here in the from left-hand side sidebar, and click here and search for Go. So there are two extensions are available. Let's try to install all these two extensions, right? So I have already installed. That's why it is saying uninstall. So in your case, the installation uninstall button will be not there. So you can just click on install, right? And this is the same also. You need to install both of these two extensions, right? So once this is done, that's fine. So our IDE is ready. Another very good IDE for Go, you can use the Golan, that is from JetBrains, right? And click on the JetBrains. So here you can give it a try, this Golan IDE. Definitely it's a kind of paid IDE, but if you are a student, right, of any university or maybe technical student, and if you have a kind of valid university email ID, just to give it a try, because they are giving this specific version or all these JetBrains products for free for students and the professors as well as, right? Then you can just go get this Golan for free also, okay, using your university email ID. Then, but otherwise, if you are kind of working professional and if you don't want to spend money, and then you can go for a free 30 days trial period also. So you can at least check like, you know, what are the features or how this IDE is like working, right? It's a really very good IDE. Here we can get like all this surprising stuff, right? So in your case, like if you wish to have a kind of monthly billing or maybe yearly, all right, you can just give it a try from here. Right? So in my case, I have already purchased this license, so I no need to install once again, but you can just click on the download, then it will just take you to this page where you can install based on your operating system, right? And eventually based on your like what kind of architecture you have or microprocessor you have, so based on that you can get your version, right? So this is how Golan is working, right? In my case, it's already downloaded and installed, right? If you go here and click on like Golan, right? Perfect. So this is how the Golan is working, right? It's very nice IDE. There are some other code editors also available, then you can just give it a try. But in my case, I'm gonna use like Golan, and maybe sometimes I'm gonna show you how it's gonna work in the Visual Studio Code also. Another thing is needed, that is called Postman, because we just wanna keep our collection safe, and we wanna distribute all this collection stuff throughout of our team maybe in future. So it's recommended, like widely used by the community, the Postman, right? You can go here, click here. So it's been a while I have installed this Postman version, but you can just download here based on your operating system. So in my case, I'm using Mac, so I'm using Apple, this one. So click on this, and right, yeah, again, just drag this one and keep it your application, right? Drag to your application, just replace it. Done, right? So our Postman also done. If you click on the Postman, then it's gonna open, right? Open. Yeah, so this is our Postman, right? I have bunch of collections that is from my previous version, right? So in your case, maybe your collection is going to be empty. So later stage, when we'll be working on our REST API, I'm going to show you how we can add some kind of automation stuff right here. So you no need to like add all these user ID, password, or token or something like for your all the API communication. You can write some kind of like in a script right here and the test script right here. So in our case, we are going to write a couple of scripts right here also in the pre-request script on the test script, which is going to handle your beforehand and afterward when you are getting response. You can set some data for your next API, something like that. Right? So this is the Postman, which is we need to install. Next, we need to install our Docker desktop. So why Docker is needed? Because we need to spin our DB as well as from our local machine, right? And a later stage, we are going to shift that specific DB to our cloud infrastructure. But while we are doing the development, then at least we need to check it out, or at least we need to spin our database, right? So in that case, some of the images we are going to run. That's why Docker desktop is needed. So if you click on this Docker desktop link, then it will take you to this page where you can install your specific version of the Docker, right? So in my case, already I have installed Docker, and I don't want to like overwrite my previous stuff, but still you can just go ahead, click on this one, right? One of them. As an example, I'm gonna install this one. All right, so Docker, like you can open the Docker. Yeah, you can just drag and drop this Docker app to your application. So this is the thing you need to do, right? So once your Docker is done, then we can, while we are going to spin our DB, then definitely I'm gonna visit this specific topic where how to write some Docker image and how we can build a multi-stage of the Docker image in order to optimize the size and all, and spin the Docker in multiple ways. Okay, so this is the another thing. So now, yeah, that's I think that's pretty much it for our whole project. But for hot reloading also, we are going to use in the Go something like that is we will be visiting in the upcoming episode, right? But as of now, these are the prerequisites it's going to be needed to spin our project, right? All right, so now let's try to create a kind of directory here, right? So in our case, Go e-commerce app. All right, so Go e-commerce app, this is my directory. And now cd Go e-commerce. So now we are inside the newly created directory. And here we are going to initialize our Go project, which is going to generate a kind of configuration file for us, which is going to keep track of all the dependencies and etc. Right? So let's try to do that. So in that case, like Go mod init, and a name of the project, that is like we are going to use like Go Go e-commerce app. All right. Yeah, so now it is being created. That's called Go mod init Go e-commerce app. So let's try to open it in the Visual Studio Code. Right, now you can see there is a kind of mod file which is being created right here, right? This is the name of our project, and as a dependency it is added like Go version like 1.21.1, right? Perfect. So now our project is created here, right? So let's try to go ahead and create a bunch of directories here, right? So what are the directories we can create? Let's go to create mkdir, and first of all configs, then infra, then internal, then pkg, right? And these are the main directories which we are going to utilize throughout of the project. Config is going to we will keep all the configuration file. Infra, we will keep all the infrastructure files, and internal, our whole application, like whatever the application logic and everything, it will be we will keep inside the internal directory. And packages will be, we will keep all the related packages in terms of, we will be using mailer, we will be using message broker, notification, payment, or some other third-party packages we are going to keep inside the packages, right? And under one more file it's going to be needed, that is called like main.go, right? Because Go is like pretty much following the C type of convention, just like one main file will be there, which is going to take care of entry of the file. If you are coming from the Node.js ecosystem, then definitely we have maybe there is a kind of app, or maybe a server, or maybe index.js or ts file, right? Which is going to represent like this, that is the entry of whole application, right? This is the similar way Go also here, the main.go is a kind of entry file, which is a kind of representing the whole application. It's going to be begin from here, right? So underneath of the main file, everything going to be executed. In order to work with our main file, first we need to identify this main file belongs to main package, right? So let's try to do that. Then package will be main, right? And in our case, like we need to have one function. As I said, like it is pretty much following the C type of convention. So there's going to be func main, right? And here we can say like fmt dot println a main function. All right, so we are going to deep dive a little bit of the Go convention and how Go is working and what are the paradigms and what are the syntax it is following. I'm going to deep dive maybe in a bit. But before that, let's try to understand like how this specific file is going to be run, right? Because behind the scene, all right, underneath of this main file, we need to write a giant like whole applications, all the framework, all the structure, everything we are going to run based on this one, right? So this is our entry, right? So let's try to spin this specific main file, right? So how we can run it, like we have already installed Go in our machine, right? Go, then run, right? Then main.go, right? So you can see like it is saying like I am main function, right? All right, so this is how we are running our main function, right? Now you have a question, maybe if we have a multiple paths, then how we can run it? All right, in that case, simply you can go run dot star dot go. So this is the way we can execute all the belonging files, whatever the files it has the Go extension, everything you can run it like this, right? So this is the way. Cool. Now this is the time where we are going to discuss about how we can structure our project. So let's try to create a couple of more directories inside these internal directories, because the packages and infra and configs will become later, but we need to create our project structure, right? So let's go inside here, internal, cd internal, right? So here again, I'm gonna create a couple of directories. Let's call mkdir and API, then domain, DTO, helper, repository, service, right? So these are the directories are needed, right? As I said in our slides, right? Because we are going to use pretty much like a clean architecture, and we will follow the solid principle. So we will try to segregate all this like the required and dependent stuff in particular belongings directories. Domain is our main directory, which is going to be stay all the data and all the entities, all right? And let's try to go ahead inside this API directory where we will be creating a couple of more directories as well. As I said, like we are going to utilize GraphQL and REST, the gRPC, and etc. So let's try to go ahead inside again to API, right? And okay, dir. Here we are going to create a couple of directories also. That is called GraphQL, gRPC, and REST. Right. So these are the files exactly. These are the directories which is going to take care of specific packages in terms of what kind of API it's. API may be GraphQL, maybe REST or something, right? So this is our project structure. First, we will be working on our RESTful APIs, right? So where we will be creating all the endpoints, right? Which is already I have explained somewhere here, right here. So all the endpoints we are going to accommodate, and then once all the business logic and everything is in place, then we are going to convert all these things, right? Maybe we are going to introduce our here and the GraphQL as well. So that means either you can utilize the REST API or maybe you can go with the GraphQL approach as well. So both the things we are going to handle. So in our case, for RESTful APIs, we are going to use some kind of the framework that is called the Fiber, right? So let's try to install that specific package here. To install dependencies in Go, how we can do, like in a Go here, Go get and github.com/go fiber and fiber v2. So this is the package we are going to use, that is called Fiber, right? And if you go here, click right here, Go Fiber. Right, so this is the package exactly, right? Fiber, and which is we are going to use as a kind of framework for our HTTP framework for our application. And you can say like there's a pretty much a good amount of the stars are available, right? And it's widely used by the community. And so this is their official website, and you can see if you are coming from the Node.js ecosystem, then definitely you will find this specific framework is pretty easy. All right, this is a kind of framework that is inspired by Express, right? And you can go ahead and explore all this endpoint stuff. You can see here, this is how Fiber is creating the app, the way we are creating in Node.js Express, right? And you can see like, how we are serving our endpoints, right? Then the app get or post or something, and here we have the handler function, just like in Node.js we are doing like the request and response. And here only simply we are just passing these this handler function, right? Which is going to be like kind of context of the Fiber, and that context is sending the response, right? The way we are sending the response from our Node.js, just like rest.send JSON or maybe rest.send, whatever it is, right? And finally they're listening to the application, the similar just like Express application does, right? So that's why they said like it's a kind of an Express inspired web framework written in Go, right? Cool. So this is the framework we are going to use. Like it's pretty cool, and definitely we are going to deep dive a bit more in the complex stuff, like how we can authenticate, how we can group the routes, and how we can serve the files as well. As a lot of things gonna happen throughout of this series, right? So let's try to get back to our code editor, right? Let's try to install this one. All right, then let's try to create our server here. That is going to be app, right? Fiber.new, right? So Fiber is imported. Now we can say like an app dot listen. This is going to be like port localhost 9000. Yeah, that's my favorite port. So right now you can see like we have just like created our server, right? Let's try to spin the server. So how we can spin it out? Go run, yeah. So here we have created our server and we are spinning up in port 9000. If you go here, then you can see this is like, yeah, definitely it will say like cannot get because we don't have any kind of endpoints. Right? Now you might have thinking, so in the line number 13, so what is this symbol it is, right? So how we have created this app from the Fiber, right? So it is very simple. We have just created one instance of the Fiber, right? And that specific instance are assigned right here in the app, all right? And that app is listening to that specific port number, right? The localhost 9000, right? So besides that, here we need to add all the routes, right? And that is we are going to visit, but right before jumping into the coding of our REST APIs, in the next episode, I'm gonna give you a little bit brief overview of the syntax of Go, how we can write the Go syntax, and what are the techniques or what are the new paradigms are available right there. Or if you're familiar with C, then definitely it's gonna help you a lot. Here there is a kind of concept that is called pointer. Maybe you are already aware how we are just allocating memory, and we are pointing to that memory reference and all. There are a lot of things gonna happen. I can assure you right after the next episode, and where we will be learn how the Go syntax are writing, all right? How Go paradigms are working, how we are managing memory, how we are handling the concurrency and etc., right? Then definitely you can move faster with this series, and you will find this whole series is very interesting for you, right? Perfect. Then I'm gonna leave you right there, and let's take a quick break and see you in the next episode. Right. Bye-bye.